This tutorial covers sending out an email to an email list specifically. If you need information on sending a general email, please consult the general email tutorial. In our last step, we imported some addresses into a mail list, and now we're going to send a bulk email out to that list. So when we click on the Send Email section of Contact, we're presented with the following screen. Once again, there are a lot of different options that we're not going to use. You can review those in the General Send section. What we're going to do is pick out our mail list. It's going to be our test list. We're going to again give a subject line. We'll do this as a $100 off special. We can include a signature, change the background color, attach a form, email the body as a form, and it's just generic forms, attach files. Once again, reference event and client are not specific to this. We do not want to include them. You may not have noticed it, but when we did select a mail list, a new set of options became available to us. And this is where you have an opportunity to really drill down and get into the specifics of who you would like to contact and narrowly target your audience. So, as it stands right now, we do not have any filters applied. These three are all no. And that means that all the addresses in your email list will be sent to, regardless of anything. However, we do have an opportunity here to put in some filters. So, the first one here is for wedding dates. So we only want to send to wedded dates. When we click yes, our options become available to us. And we can either do before, after, or between. So, for instance, let's say that we are trying to beef up the following year's bookings. We're doing this in, say, April or May. So, defaults to May of 2013, and we're going to say only after the first of the year. So then, what will happen is the photo booth operator will go through that list, find all of the weddings that take place after the first of the year, and only send to those. Obviously, you can do before, so we are not concerned about next year just yet. We want to take care of our bookings for this year. And then you do have an option of doing between. So if we want to do between, some areas of the country are seasonal. So for instance, from the end of October through the end of March, those sort of winter cold months in some areas, we have that option available to us as well. Turn that filter off and go to our next one. We have the ability to limit to brides between the ages of, and so we have just a simple scroll to pick. If we're going to target, for instance, our younger brides, maybe the 18 to 25-year-olds, or conversely, we're going to go for the 30 and up crowd. You have the option to filter that out very well there. So we're going to go ahead and turn that filter off. Our last filter is we can go ahead and limit it to zip code or codes. What's going to happen is the photo booth operator behind the scenes will go through every single one of the zip codes on that email list that you're sending to, and will present that list to you here. And you can just basically start selecting which ones you want, and as you select them, they're added to your list, just like all the other drop-down multiple selects in the photo booth operator, and you can get rid of ones that you don't want. This obviously allows for some real regional targeting, should you be in one of those areas that definitely has more desirable zip codes than others. I'm going to turn this filter off. So what we're going to do here, just to sort of see what the photo booth operator does when you do one of these filters, we're going to do weddings that take place after July of this year. Alright, so moving along, we now have to compose our email. Obviously we can type for scratch, or we'd have the ability to select a drop down. We're just going to do one of the generic ones here, blue box. We provided for you some email marketing best practices. This is a simple one page, you're not required to read an entire textbook, PDF document, maybe even a good idea to print it out and save it next to your system. That kind of gives a very broad and brief overview of some of the best practices in regarding email for various situations in regards to getting by spam filters, not having your address blocked. At the end of the day, all this is designed to ensure that your message gets to as many of the people on your list as possible, which will hopefully then result in a highest return rate. Photo Booth Operator is structured very differently than some of the large commercial bulk email applications that exist out there, in that we care about your redemption rate. There are certain things that have been discussed before, such as copying and pasting an entire image into your email, that we will not allow, that they will allow. The reason being, quite simply, that if you copy and paste an entire beautiful graphic image that you've designed that has all your marketing message, has your phone number, your email, your website, and it's the only thing in your email, 90% of the people receiving that email will not be able to view it unless they know to click show images, or if they're not on their phone or not on their tablet. It just ensures that you're going to have a lower redemption rate. Those large commercial companies will allow you to do such a thing because they simply do not care. They're out to have their system function without fail. No concern for your redemption rate. As is stated numerous times, our success is tied to your success, so we will not allow you to do that. In fact, if you look very quickly here below our box, we have instructions that say do not paste images. We have provided you a link button to provide images using the URL, either directly from your website, or if you don't have one or don't have the ability to upload files, there's free services provided to you. Again, this is all designed to get you the highest redemption rate. We do have our shortcuts. If you're unfamiliar with those, you'll want to consult the training video on the WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get editor. We'll get clarification on those for you. So we have our email. We are going to an email list, and we actually, let's check up, we actually have a note here that when you're sending to a list, we have to have a view online button and an unsubscribe button somewhere in your email. We can generate those automatically with generate view online and unsubscribe links. You can just add a view online link. We can also add the company name, address, and privacy policy links. If you want to add those manually, it is in the what you see, what you get editor section, but we'll just cover it real quickly here. In recipients, the first two options are view online and unsubscribe. This email does not have those. Let's go ahead and add them automatically. You'll see we now have the view online and we have the unsubscribe. Anyone clicking the unsubscribed will be removed from all of the email lists that you have. The point here is we are trying to ensure that they are not angered, they don't report you from spam, etc., etc. So you don't want to remove from one list and then a day later you send to a different list and they get your email again. So anyone subscribing will actually be subscribed from every one of your email lists, even though they were only sent that information on this one email list. We have the text-only version down here. When you create your emails, you have the option of creating the text-only. This particular one did not. If that is the case, then you can just copy and convert from above. Copying and converting from above oftentimes will add some significant spacing. You may just want to clean it up a little bit. Not a big deal. Won't really change anything on the consumer end of things. You also might want to consider or realize that any kind of logos, as you see here, it's logo M, which is a medium-sized logo, on the text only will not be displayed. Okay, so now we've got everything set. We've told the Photo Booth Operator which mailing list we're going to send to. We've applied a filter. We've selected an email. We've provided view online and unsubscribe links. So now we're going to go ahead and preview the email. So what the Photo Booth Operator does is it actually goes and reviews everything regarding your filters and situations and then gives you a nice little report. So you indicated you wanted to send to a grand total of 1,621 emails. That's the entire email list. Okay. You wanted to only send to wedding dates after July 1st of 2013, which resulted in 322 matches, and of those, there were 269 valid. So, therefore, we're going to actually send to a total of 269 emails, and we do attempt to do a sort of basic shortcut substitution. There's no guarantees that everything is going to be accurate and work. Obviously, it's very specific during the send process. But this will give you kind of a general idea of what the email is going to look like. We can now send the email, or we can go back and edit the email if we want to change up our filters or whatever else. If we send the email, then we will be sent back to our sent emails to show the results. Obviously, we're not going to send out to the list right now, but in the sent emails, shows you your subject, the day it was sent, how many were sent, how many failed, how many opened, how many unique opens you have, the number of bookings that were generated off of that, and then your options in regards to editing your list or you're deleting your list. If you go ahead and click edit, then you basically are taken back to that screen, and then you can resend that email. You'll go through the process again. Perhaps you need to refine that. Perhaps you have a sort of set standardized, email that you send out on a monthly or quarterly basis. This allows you to, utilize those settings and go back and do it with, a different filter, a different set of times, whatever the case may be.